week on the Venator update, we're going to be working on the repairs from the tragic fall of the UCS Death Star last Venator update. Hey guys, welcome back to week 68 of building my custom Venator. This week on the Venator update, we're still recovering from the tragic loss of the Death Star falling on the Venator. We have now rebuilt the Venator, as you guys can see by the end of this update, but it did take a lot of work, and we did make some major improvements and a lot of different changes to it, so I highly recommend watching this video because we do go into some new things on the Venator this week. Oh, just dropped it. But anyways, let's get this update without further ado. So last week, you may not know this, but the Death Star did in fact fall on top of my UCS Venator. Fortunately, we were able to fix the Death Star and put it back in its spot, despite me not wanting to put it there due to the fact that it could fall over again, because it's only fallen in this Venator twice in the entire lifetime of this Venator series. But I made some new revisions to the bottom of the Death Star plate, hopefully allowing it not to fall over again. I still am concerned about it, but there's nothing else I can do considering there's no space in my room. But taking a look at the reconstruction this week, we haven't made a whole ton of progress on it, to be 100% honest. But we're going to start working on this back section right here, because that's the whole foundation for this entire structure. And then we're going to start putting on things like this, which we still have intact, thank goodness. And this thing over here, which we also still have intact. We have a lot of pieces intact, it's just putting them together. Also, something we have to still fix this week are the bridges, because they were mostly intact. However, while repairing it, I did manage to make them fall again, just due to the lack of space in my room. Okay, so we fixed up this back section right here, very good. However, we have some problems down here. As you can see, it's sagging. Well, that's because when the Death Star fell on it, that was a lot of force going down on it, and it kind of broke some of the supports, like right here, which I didn't even know about till now, and like it loosened bricks, and this is not supposed to be bent. So there's a lot of structural damage done from that impact of the Death Star falling on it. However, it's still standing, which I'm really proud about. Like at least I built it strong enough to withstand a Death Star dropping like 7 feet in the sky down this thing. So props to me, I guess. But we really have to fix the structural issues with this before we can continue working on the bridge, because the structure is the most important part. You know, you can't have a heavy bridge on top of it without, you know, the structure being good. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be working on right now. We're gonna be working on fixing this structure up to make this nice and strong again. But we made some great progress on the reconstruction of the bridge. As you guys can see, we got both the towers back in place and installed, and we are now working towards this back section to really rebuild these back towers up, and then we should be in better shape. This thing is definitely taking a long time to rebuild, but I do think we're gonna be able to do it very effectively. Also, yes, I did get the 2023 battle pack. If you didn't see the vlog, I highly recommend you check it out. It is one of the most wholesome vlogs I think I've ever done here on the channel, so make sure you go check it out. Alright, so we've been working on the interior for about 2 hours now, and I basically have been reworking it so that this doorway, it looks better in a sense. I never really liked the interior, and I never really finished it, so that's what I'm working on right now. As you can see though, there are several things that need to be taken down, like this right here, because this brick slope cannot go into that, so I gotta rearrange all these bricks, and that takes a really long time to do, and that's what I've been doing with this whole other structure as well, and then kind of like putting it back together. So it's a long process, but it will definitely be worth it when you can take out this back section and look at the interior from this direction. It'll look so freaking nice. But I'm really looking forward to completing this bridge section right here. It does take a bit longer, but it's definitely worth it. I took another little pause to just show how much I am completely gutting this wall right here to try and make like a little control panel or something for this back section behind the bridge, because I really want this to be a really nice section back here that doesn't have a lot of space, but I do want to optimize it the best I can. So I have gutted that entire section right there, which may not be the best structural decision. However, the detail I think it will add will be way better and will look way cleaner on the inside, and I think I can figure out the supports for it. It's just a matter of fitting a control console or something inside that 3-stud space. Alright, we made a lot of progress in the past 3 hours. We basically have the entire thing restored, which is great. And we got a parts order in from Lego, which is also great, including some parts we desperately needed, like these light bluish gray grill pieces. I'm not sure which one I want to use yet. I think I might just go back to the dark bluish gray, but it's still good to have these in regardless. And we also got some pieces in that are important for the side panels over here, which we'll get into in a little bit, hopefully this update. Let's take a look at what we did on the interior back here. Alright, so we spent a lot of time back here, although it doesn't really look like it. We put a table in right here using a snot desk technique. It's really small. It might not be worth it in the end. I certainly put way too much time into it. And over here, I cleared it out as well. I haven't put a table in yet, but, you know, I still cleared it out with all the filler brick. That I maybe live to regret that, but I mean, it seems pretty strong, so I think it'll be fine. And then I worked on this command bridge section, which looks so cool to me. And I worked on like making it look better with these angles over here, because before there was no angles on this side, it was really only on this side, and I was going to kind of like block this section off. But now I can put like a command desk here with Lauren and Anakin Skywalker. I think that'll look really nice in the future of this project. And I was experimenting with some overhead like beams, but I don't know how well that's going to work when I put in the other back layer that goes on this, because there is a lot more that goes onto this back section, which is what we'll be working on in this update as well, as really working on this back section, because we never really finished it. We did like another, you know, prototype draft, like getting these two side things, but we were waiting a piece for the center of it, so maybe we'll work on that central piece this update as well. Alright, so I've been working on this for a while now. We got this back section rebuilt, and it's looking pretty good. It can just slide in and out pretty nicely, so you can reveal this back bridge section without taking up too much floor space inside there, so that's looking great. However, what we're working on now is this new section that we've never ever built before in this, and that is definitely a difficult thing to create, because I'm trying to create indentations with inside. So I got this that I've been working on, which isn't that great, and then this as well, but this is too wide because the width of the space I have is about 4 studs in width. So I'm trying to make something that has elevations, like the sides push forward and these push in, but that would lead to something like this, and I don't think that's wide enough for the image we're trying to recreate with this. That's what I'm trying to work on right now, but it is not going so well, so hopefully I have some better progress for you in a little bit. Right, so we did some pretty good work trying to recreate the piece that I was trying to create on the Venator. However, it's a smidge too wide. It still would fit in there. It's a very, very tight fit. And we did run out of some of these 1x2 pieces. I didn't really order any, so I was just going through my dark bluish gray towel bin to see how many I could find. And we found some, but not enough, as you guys can see. But I think this does the job really well. We got that indentation between the grays, which is great. You see that small little gap. I mean, it is a small detail, but it does matter. And I think this is really exceptional work. I'm very happy with how I was able to create this. However, I may make it a bit thinner in between each layer. Like instead of 2 studs in between each one, I think I make it like 1 stud maybe. Just because I need to fit more of these in there. And they seem a bit staggered right now. I'm not sure though. But I'm gonna give it a try and see how it looks. But yeah, I'd say it's a pretty accurate one-to-one design of what I'm trying to go for, based off, you know, the image that's shown. Okay, I for one am very happy with what happened here today. We have everything down perfect.
Down to the last minute details.
The thing I'm most happy with is the border I was able to make around this whole big central object, which has each and every single 8 lines that we have on the actual model detail, and then those 2 squares at the bottom. That looks absolutely incredible. Okay, as I was working on attaching it, I realized a small error. There's not enough space, and this is too big. Now, originally I was going to ignore this detail, but then I remembered that these blocks right here, they're somewhat accurate, but they look better as squares. And then that would give me an extra, I don't know, 1 brick height of like width on the bottom of it, which I could desperately use for making this thing. So I'm going to try and reduce the size of this by about 1 brick and see how that looks, because this looks more accurate as squares, not rectangles, according to the design I'm going off of. Alright, so we have been working more on this side detailing right here. As you guys can see, it looks good. This thing has this piece which is sticking out underneath there, which I don't love, but I have to do it to fill that small little gap. However, when I went to do that on this one, it didn't work so well because of the bricks that we have underneath it. And that's the whole problem I'm having with this, because I can either make it a hole there or a hole here, which you guys see right there. You see how that's not tight? Well, originally it was, like it is down here, but in basic, it can either be there or here. And I've tried a lot of techniques and nothing seems to be working. However, I'm going to try a few more, but worst comes to worst, there'll just be a hole right there. The only problem with it is that part of the black goes onto the angle, not the black, but the dark bluish gray goes onto the angle piece, which is my main problem with that, because I'm trying to get part of it on there. But if it wasn't on there, then it would be totally fine. But we're trying to make this as accurate as possible right there. So that's my main problem with this piece as of right now. So that's what I'm working on right now with this. It may have been a little bit hard to explain, and you may not 100% understand it, but that's kind of what I'm working on right now. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get the gap to go away, but I can live with that. It's a small gap on this amazing piece that I was able to create for the Venator. We do still have to add some detail up there, and detail throughout the whole freaking thing. We gotta detail this thing up, of course, and basically like a lot of the pieces around this. But I'm really glad with how this piece came out. However, I do think it's time to take a break from this and go back to work on the reconstruction of the Venator's bridges, because we don't have a bridge as of this moment, unless you count this thing, which has been broken 1,000 times. Also, with all the new parts you're able to get from Lego, we'll be able to tile this off and it'll look really complete. So I'm super excited about that. But right now, we're going to be working on that, so let's get into it. We've done a whole bunch of stuff in the past few hours that you guys may not even be able to see. But we have basically redesigned the whole roof so that we can install these circular beams. I'm trying to show them, but you can't see them too well because I haven't installed lights yet. But I installed some circular beams just like the Venator has it on the interior of the bridge. I've always wanted to install these beams, but I never had a chance to, and now I have them above. There will be a second one as well, but I basically redesigned the doorway down here to do that. Now, you can't really see anything in the doorway. Well, that is because we have redesigned the back section a bit. So it looks pretty similar to the way we saw it before. However, we've added this section right here, and I basically took it all apart. Yeah, I know, but you guys, it looks the same, but I took it all apart, and this is what we're left with now. So now I'm going to take off this back section, which should come out pretty easily, which we've also built and made a lot nicer with these slopes. We've yet to finish it off 100%, but it looks a lot better. And then we got this back section right here, which is where the command table will go. And yeah, so that's what I've been working on for the past hour. And we also have these two knobs in case you want to have more of these circular pieces going along them. However, when you put this on, there really is no space for it. So yeah, that's the current situation going on with that right now. Very happy with that. We also have done something else with this project as well, which is add a roof to this section to store all the power functions. I was tired of the blue lights shining down into this section. So I basically added that roof to prevent more blue light from going into this section, since the blue lights kind of shine through it and make a big hole. It's complicated. That's great that we got that fixed down there. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff done. Now we are for real going back to work on these bridges right here. Alright, I just spent so long rebuilding these bridges. I can't believe how long it took. They're still not 100% yet, but I have to upload this Venator update. I've been waiting too long on this, and I really had to upload it to YouTube. So this is all I've been able to get done this week. Next week though, I hope we can finish off the bridges, because we actually have the pieces for it now. I don't know where they went, but they were right here. We have all the pieces for it, so I'm really looking forward to actually being able to finish off all of the bridges next week on the Venator update, and then lining them both up. That's to be really sick. But next week we will have that done for sure, and then who knows what we're going to work on next. Alright, that's the roundup for week 68 of Building My Custom Venator. Please be sure to smash that like and subscribe button down below. Every view, every sub, everything does help, so make sure to smash that like and subscribe button down below. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out and goodbye.